Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have Jax with me. My baby boy, my fur baby. And today I'm going to be telling you the story of how he lost his arm and about how we got him in general. Ain't that right, Bubba's? A couple days before Christmas of 2016, Dustin's my boyfriend if you didn't know, he brought Jax home in a little box and he had me open the box and he surprised me with Jax. There were holes in the box. He could breathe, he was okay. And he wasn't in the box, he just put him in there and then had me open it in case you were worried or concerned about that. So yeah, he brought him home to me and I'll insert some pictures. He was so cute, but he was covered in sawdust because Dustin got him from an Amish mill. And he paid $30 for him. And he brought him home to me and we gave him his first bath. And we pretty much fell in love with him ever since. How he lost his arm. What... So cute. It was actually on Christmas Day. I had to work a night shift. I worked 2:30 to 11 p.m. And while I was at work, I got a phone call. It was like toward the end of my shift. So it was about like 10:30. I was almost off work. And I got a call from my mom saying that they were on their way to the veterinary hospital with Jax. Pretty much, long story short, with him being on an Amish mill, it was very loud where he lived, and because of that, he still to this day gets scared very easily when things are dropped or any sudden loud noise is made. So on that day, someone just shut a cabinet and Dustin was holding him just like I am right now, and he jumped out of his arms and he hit the ground. When he hit the ground, this arm that used to be here, he fractured his ulna and radius. He actually broke it in half, not fractured it. So yeah, I got that phone call. I finished my shift. I met them at the emergency vet. By the time I got there, it was about maybe like 11:30 midnight. We ended up not leaving the vet until like 4 in the morning. So we were there for an extremely long time. They took him in right away. They gave him some medicine to kind of relax him. And then they were supposed to take some x-rays. We agreed that they would take one x-ray before, and then he was supposed to have a procedure where they would pretty much pull the leg forward and then realign it with the bones that were broken. So the bones were supposed to come together, but yeah, so that was going to be the procedure. He was going to have to be put under for it, just so that he wasn't in a ton of pain. And yeah, the lady in the place we went to, what do I say? They were kind of shady. It was really, really late in the morning, or I guess technically really early. At this point when he had this procedure, it was probably like 2 in the morning. We both were just sad. We didn't know what was going to happen. We just wanted our dog to be okay. And we had agreed that 2 x-rays would be taken, one before and one after the procedure. This specific veterinarian decided to take 2 pictures before she then did the procedure, and she never took a x-ray after. So, being that we only had so much money and it was so late, we both just said okay. She told us that we would have to take him to our normal vet to see if, you know, the procedure went okay, if the bones were placed correctly. So, yeah. I would say it was a couple days later. We took him to our vet. She took an x-ray. Obviously, your normal vet is much cheaper than a emergency vet. So she took an x-ray of his arm, and it turns out that this procedure that this vet did was not successful. It didn't even look like she had done anything while he was under. The bones were nowhere near each other, and yeah. Hi. Our local vet pretty much said they weren't going to come together correctly, and they weren't going to heal on their own, and therefore what they said we should do is to amputate. We both were obviously so upset, Dustin and I and my family. We've never gone through anything like this, so we weren't sure how to take it. I think it was about like January 1st or 2nd was the soonest they could do the procedure. And obviously we were at our local vet who did this procedure. Our local vet is amazing and so kind, so thorough, and they all love him there every time he goes. So yeah, we took him there at the beginning of January, and that would be now 2017. He had his amputation, and I'll insert some pictures. Yeah, he had it. It went well, but it was a long road to recovery. Jax is pretty stubborn. He didn't like taking the medication. He's the type of dog where you can't sneak anything by him. So we couldn't put his pain medicine in like peanut butter or anything. He just knew it was in there. So we had to find different ways to get him to take his medicine. He loves cheese and he loves eggs. So we actually got the pills put in there, and he actually ate it. But for a while there, it was a struggle. Yeah, he had some gnarly staples put in, like, on, like, where they took the arm. Instead of, like, instead of stitches or anything like that. It was a couple weeks until they took out the staples. We obviously weren't in the room for that because it was already such a hard situation enough, and seeing your dog in pain, especially like when your dog is pretty much your child, it would be really upsetting. So he got the staples out. A few months later, he finally started acting like himself again. He slowly recovered. Everything was healing like it should. He did have, I'd say right after they took his leg and for, you know, a month of recovering, he would have what are called phantom pains, where he would still think the arm is there and try to use it. He had to pretty much learn how to, you know, walk again, how to do everything like a normal dog does, but without that one arm. So, yeah. But he slowly but surely recovered. We gave him all the love and took care of him as best we could. And I can say now that even though it was like probably one of the worst like moments of our lives, he now is super healthy. He runs incredibly fast. He can swim. He's like a normal dog, and he's so loving and so happy. And yeah, he has such a personality, and we love him so much and don't know what we would do without him in our lives. So yeah, that's the story. Just want to let anybody know who may go through, you know, what we did. Just know that it gets better, and it's really scary at first, but you just have to stick together, and eventually your dog will come out on top, and they'll heal, and they'll go back to living their normal doggy life. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. And yeah, Jack says thanks for listening to his story, and we hope you'll come back for the next one. Bye. Say bye, Bubs. Bye, Bubs. Bye.